looking at here is a pair of my 1911 45s. I've done a couple of videos with these before, but I want to look at the 1911 in general today. Now, these are both 5-inch government models. They do have an ambidextrous safety to accommodate me being left-handed. A lot of people have talked a lot of smack about the 1911 in the last 10 years. And they say they're complicated to use and they're an expert's gun and all kinds of other hogwash. Go back in the history books, we find out the 1911 was used by the United States military from its adoption in 1911 as our standard sidearm through 85, and still continues to be used in some places today. Does it require a level of training? Yes. Not so much more than any other sidearm. You know, for over 70 years it served as our GI service pistol. You know, not all of those guys were experts. You had some just regular guys that knew how to use one. The 1911 was designed by John Moses Browning. Hold on. Beaver tail getting in the way. He designed it around a 7-round magazine, one in the chamber. Brings us to another thing people detract from it is the capacity. 8-in-1, that's 9 rounds of 45 automatic. That's a 230 grain bullet running around 900 to 1,000 feet a second. In some cases a little more with your heavier plus P loads. Pistols generally carried cocked and locked. That means hammer's back with a loaded round in the chamber and the safety applied. I have to turn off both the grip safety and the manual safety to make this gun fire. If I don't have my hand on the grip safety, it's not going to fire. If I have the manual safety turned on, still not going to fire. So it's got two safeties on it. The gun is no more dangerous than any other sidearm. Those that detract from it with the capacity, I want you to understand this. Your sidearm is not a submachine gun. That's the long and short of it. These same people are also the same ones saying, oh, if you don't have 15 shots in your gun, it's not adequate. You might miss. No, you might miss. I'm probably going to not miss. They're also the same ones that detract from double action revolvers. Why? Because they don't know how to shoot the things. The 1911, and this is where it's most comfortable in my left hand. I've got the ambidextrous safety. Is a natural pointer. Your wrist is at a neutral cant. When I shoot this gun, it's as naturally as me pointing my finger. Another thing that adds to the 1911's accuracy is the trigger squeeze. When you squeeze the trigger on this, it's on a bar. It comes straight back. There's no arch to it. You simply lay your finger on it and add pressure. The single action system that John Browning engineered really is pleasurable to shoot. It's easy to shoot accurately. It's been proven in multiple theaters. But we have a bunch of wonder boys that come along with their plastic guns saying this is the greatest thing since sliced bread, and don't realize, hey, that's great, enjoy them, shoot them. By the way, I just happen to prefer the old guns that seem to keep working and chugging along. This gun here is built on a Charles Daly frame and slide. It was built in the mid-90s. I bought it and did the custom work to it. It has a Springfield match grade barrel, Wolf Springs. This gun's had over 1 million rounds put through it. While everybody's saying, oh, the Glocks, they hold up well, they hold up well. Okay, that's great, but will you go 1 million rounds with your Glock? I can tell you this, if you can go 1 million rounds through any gun, you're a hell of a shooter. Because you put in the range time, not because your gun's superior. And that's what you learn, putting that kind of a round count down range. One of the best upgrades I found of these guns, Wilson Combat magazines. Some people prefer 7 round, I prefer 8 rounds. I've never had a problem with them. Some of these are my original mags that were purchased over 20 years ago. They still keep chugging along. I don't know much else you can say about the 1911 other than it still keeps working, still keeps kicking ass and taking names. Shoots a big bullet. Heavy bullet that'll penetrate deep. And it's effective. The question should not be how good your gun is, but how good you are with your gun. Be it a 1911 traditional double action revolver, double action semi-auto, striker fire Glock. What separates the men from the boys with this, from our barnyard commandos to our real shooters, is the round count put through these guns. You know, and this is done over a period of years, not 6 months. Any gun can survive 6 months. You can't put enough rounds through it in 6 months unless you do nothing but shoot to make it give up the ghost. If it's a quality made gun. But you have one that's hung around and hung on for 20 years. Yeah, I've had to replace some parts in it. I've had to do maintenance on them. Hey, guess what? I've had to clean these guns. Well, they stand up to the test of time. Later on.